Let's start this press review as ever with La Gazzetta dello Sport, which of course focuses on COVID-19, the coronavirus. Formula One also surrenders. The first Grand Prix of the season is off. Lewis Hamilton, we're in Australia because money talks. Football amid chaos in terms of matches being postponed and possible scenarios for the future. The UEFA yet to make a decision. Delirium on the continent, from the Champions League to the European Championships. It's all at risk. After Juve and Napoli today, Bayern Chelsea could be called off. On Tuesday, the possibility of all of the competitions being suspended. Madness in the Europa League. Yesterday there were matches played behind closed doors and a full ground in Glasgow. Football has been infected. Gabbiadini of Samp joins Daniele Rugani. 121 people quarantined at Juventus, including club president Andrea Agnelli. Further down, only 100 people turn out for the lighting of the Olympic torch. The coronavirus, emergency, European chaos, Champions League, Euro 2020, so many different hypotheses and possible ideas on how to proceed going forward. Matches behind closed doors, matches with a crowd in the Europa League. There's also this bizarre situation, same pitch, Eintracht Frankfurt, 0 Basel 3, the first leg in Germany, the same stadium. Switzerland has closed absolutely everything. The second leg will also be held in Frankfurt. UEFA could decide to call off Bayern Chelsea today. The entire competition could be called off on Tuesday when the leagues, the FAs and the players will try to find common ground, which will of course involve certain costs. Shock in the Premier League, 3 suspected cases at Leicester City, 1 at Manchester City. Mikel Arteta is positive, a summit today. Further down, 2 weeks of La Liga being suspended, Real Madrid in quarantine as well. And after Rugani, Gabbiadini also tests positive. Juventus put 121 people in isolation. Conte gives homework and Inter are being tracked by Galli. They live in the same apartment building from all accounts. Brozovic and Skriniar not so much in isolation, working on the bike. Atalanta have also suspended training until Monday. Finally, there's an interview with Roberto Burioni, who is an expert in these matters. From Agnelli to Zhang and Pallotta, Serie A stands tall, stands together. Juventus donate €300,000 to hospitals in Piedmont. Inter donate a further 300,000 masks, and the players are also beginning to act as well. That's La Gazzetta dello Sport. Moving on, Tutto Sport. Forza ragazzi does exactly what it says on the tin. Come on, lads, we're right behind you. UEFA, stop this madness, is the message from the Turin-based Sports Daily. 121 people connected with Juventus in isolation, including Agnelli. Rugani has tested positive, but he's well. No further swabs or tests for the moment. The club are raising funds. Further down, the Juventus match against Lyon is off, as is Manchester City, Real Madrid. Gabbiadini, I've got coronavirus, but I'm okay. The Blu Cerchiati, so Sampdoria, followed the same protocol as Juventus and Inter. Verona, who were the most recent opposition for Sampdoria, have suspended all activities. Let's help out the healthcare facilities. That's a message from a figure connected with Juventus. The number of deaths in Italy, which we won't look at because the figures are changing from 1 hour to the next. There's no stopping Zhang. Here are the masks. Another charitable initiative from the Inter owner. 300,000 masks have been donated, and Suning will also make available its international supply chain for providing new aid. Roma and Jim Pallotta also helping out. A nightmare return home for the Italy women's team, Le Azzurre, from Faro in Portugal to Mallorca, then Rome and Turin. The head coach, Milena Bertolini. What chaos. It was hard to know what was going on. And Rosucci says the sweetest win was finally getting home. Europe in dribs and drabs. In Italy, the league system has stopped to try and meet the emergency head-on created by the coronavirus. In other countries across Europe, on the other hand, they're still going ahead without clear direction. Real Madrid in quarantine. La Liga has been suspended for 2 match days. Arteta positive at Arsenal, and suspected instances of coronavirus at Leicester City as well. Bundesliga behind closed doors, but the matches will be played on free-to-air. Liga without crowds, and André Villas-Boas has asked for the matches to be called off. Klopp avoids fans, and Diego Costa coughs. Craziness, madness from Kurzawa, who throws himself into the crowd. And finally, Il Corriere dello Sport, which opens up like this. Football is sick. After Rugani, Gabbiadini is also positive to the coronavirus. Samp in isolation. The player, I'm well, stay at home. Real Madrid in quarantine. La Liga has been called to a halt for the moment. The Premier League goes on. UEFA are ready to suspend European competition and also postpone Euro 2020 to Euro 2021. That's the headline. The prospect of postponing the competition until next year is met with favour by Serie A, who intend to finish the league season by the end of June or midway point of July. So long until Euro 2021. There's Alexander Ceferin, the UEFA president, pictured there. A summit in Nyon on Tuesday. Ceferin has realised that it's now inevitable to postpone the European Championships. The prospect of a Final Four or a Final Eight for European competition and Serie A could complete the fixture list. Nyon surrenders to the WHO. You can't play amid a pandemic. The organisational issues which were building up, positive players and clubs in quarantine. But ultimately what tipped the balance was the borderless epidemic. The South American qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup in Qatar 2020, they won't start up that qualification period. Gabbiadini is also positive. Fear in Serie A. Manolo no longer has the fever. Don't worry, he says, but fear of spread of coronavirus is widespread rife amongst footballers. He might have picked it up in Lombardy. The Sampdoria team and staff are in quarantine. Yes, footballers are more exposed. That's the view of an expert on the matters. Rugani is getting better. Juve in isolation. And Cristiano Ronaldo won't be back for the next fortnight. Inter, meanwhile, everyone at home for precautions. Conte, the team and the coaching staff that took part in the trip to Juventus, everyone is at home as a precaution. And Zhang also doing his bit, helping out Real Madrid in quarantine. And La Liga waves the white flag. Bundesliga, all of the matches on free-to-air television. Leicester City, the Premier League goes on, but there's the strange situation going on at Leicester City, a mystery, shall we say. Lyon against Reims is going ahead amid protests. That's all for today. Of course, coronavirus meaning the majority of the headlines are dominated by this. There's no football really going ahead. We'll try and keep you up to date with what the Italian papers are saying in this very eerie period in European and Italian football.